Hello students, this is Sandip Kumar Singh. I hope you all are fine and doing well. So today I am going to explain chapter 3rd from class 7th standard English Ncert Alien Handbook, and the name of the chapter is The Desert. Okay students, so actually in this chapter we will discuss about the desert. Okay, you see, deserts are usually without water, okay, and they are either too hot or too cold. People believe that they have no life, okay, but in fact, deserts have plants and animals, okay. They are very different because they have learned to live in the very extreme and unusual conditions in the desert. Okay, students, so let us see the chapter line by line. Those of us who live in regions covered with forest and surrounded by hills may find it difficult to imagine what a desert is really like. Okay, it happens, isn't it? Mainly the people, those who used to live in the regions where there is full of covered with forest, okay, water bodies, plants, isn't it? So actually it becomes very difficult for them to imagine, okay, about the desert, okay, that what it looks like, how it looks like, okay. The popular belief is that it is an endless stretch of sand, okay, where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation grows. It is a concept what, okay, that what desert is an endless stretch of sand where no rain falls, okay, rainfall does not take place and therefore no vegetation, that means there is therefore no plants, okay, used to grow. So it is dry, hot, waterless and without shelters, okay. So therefore the climate is too hot, okay, and water is not available there, waterless and without shelter. So as that particular place is what, that is too hot, okay, the climate is too hot, there is no water, so therefore it is believed that I think no people used to stay in such type of areas. So that is why it has been written that there is no shelter. But this is not entirely correct, okay, this is only a belief, okay, which some people have, okay, but this is not entirely correct. Now let us see what is the correct, okay, that means what is the fact. For those who have studied it, okay, that the desert can be a beautiful place, okay, it is for those who have already studied about the desert, okay, who is having some experience, some kind of experience about, okay, living in desert. So as per their views, deserts are what, it's a very beautiful place. It is the home of a variety of people, animals and plants that have learned to live under very hot and dry conditions, okay. So as per their views, these deserts are, okay, the place where animals, plants, okay, everything they used to what, stay there in that dry or hot conditions. So true, the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass, plants and trees as it is in other climates. So of course it's a fact, okay, it's a fact that of course the ground of that particular, what we can say, that desert areas, okay, are not always covered with grass or plants or trees as which is available in the normal areas, okay, where, but but whenever it rains, okay, which is rare, but of course it is that rainfall takes place, but it is very rare, okay, only perhaps sometime rain takes place in those areas, so which is rare, desert flowers blooms and the sight can be as rewarding as that of any tropical garden. So it has been said that when rainfall occurs in those areas of what we can say the desert, so at that time the sight which looks really, that becomes what we can say a rewarding, a very beautiful, okay. A desert is not always a flat, unchanging wasteland of dry sand, it has been said, desert means it's not always that will remain, okay, unchanging, flat as a wasteland. Okay, it's a dry climate, nothing is going to be there. It is not like that. It may have mountains and hills. Okay, deserts also have what? Mountain is also there. Okay, it also have mountains and hills. It may have an oasis. Okay, it may have an oasis. Uh, what is oasis? You see, it may have an oasis, big or small. An oasis is like a green island. Now, what is oasis? It's just like a green island in the middle of a desert where a spring or a well gives plant and trees a better chance to grow. Okay, so what we can say, that oasis is a fertile place. Okay, a fertile place with water and plants. Okay, in the deserts. That means amidst the desert we can find oasis also, which is nothing but a fertile place with water and plants. Okay, so a desert, okay, so a desert may be hot. Okay, like the Thar. Okay, Thar desert. Okay, our Rajasthan, you know. Okay, so a desert may be hot like the Thar, or what we can say, Ladakh. Okay, but generally speaking, if a place, okay, if a place, okay, now see, a desert may be hot like the Thar or cold like Ladakh, but generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation, okay, people you know, actually people used to call it a desert. So what happens, that actually if a particular place is too cold, okay, or too hot, okay, and that place has a little or no water and vegetations, so generally what, it's a general concept that people used to call such areas as what? Desert. Clear? Some deserts are almost totally without water. Okay, there are some deserts, you know, where there is scarcity of water is there fully, but we can say that almost nil. Okay, that deserts are what? Without water. So in such places, strong winds blow. Okay, raising heaps of sand and depositing them as mounds. So in such areas, what happens, you know, winds used to blow very fast, very strong wind, and they used to what? Raise the sand, and they used to take the sand from one place to another, and that wind used to gather the what? Sand at one place, just like a heap. Okay, heap of sand, and depositing them as a mounds. So these are called sand dunes, and that is called what? Nothing but the sand dunes. So what are sand dunes? Okay, sands used to get accumulated from one sands used to get shift from one place to another. Okay, and it get accumulated, okay, by the wind, and that accumulated sand is called what? Sand dunes. Okay, so sand dunes that shifts and moves endless across the desert, and few plants can survive on such dry shifting sands. And even, you know, in such sand dunes also, okay, there are few plants which used to survive, okay, in that sand also. Now see, all living things need water in order to survive. Okay, it's a general concept, as we know, isn't it, that all the living things, okay, like plants, animals, we the human beings, okay, we need what? Water in order to survive. The few plants and animals that live in deserts have developed the ability to require less water than most plants and animals. But you know, there are some, what we can say, plants and animals which have modified themselves, what we can say. Okay, they have already modified themselves, that they require, okay, they needs very less amount of water in order to survive. Say for example, the camel, okay, popularly known as the sheep of the desert, isn't it? Why it is called the sheep of the desert? Because they used to survive only in the desert areas. Okay, and they used to move from one place to another in that very, what we can say, hot, okay, climate, over the sands, over the sand dunes. So sheep of the desert can drink a lot of water at one time, and that camel, you know what, they actually used to drink water, a lot of water, okay, at one time. And camels can do without water for days together. That means when they will get a water, they will drink a plenty of water, okay, and after that, you know, they can survive without water for long duration of time, we can, okay, for so many days. So the reason is that, okay, so the reason is they sweat very late, okay, very little. Now see what is the reason, okay, why they don't need that much water as we need. Why? Because this camel, they used to sweat very little, okay. We sweat because we must keep our body temperature constant, okay, but we sweat when it gets hot. It happens, no, mainly in the summer season we used to sweat, okay. We sweat when it gets hot, and this cools the body, okay. camels can stand high Camels can stand high body temperature. They don't need to sweat, okay. Even the temperature is too high, their body temperature, then also this camel, they don't sweat, okay. They don't need to sweat, and can therefore retain the water they drink for long period of time. And this is the reason what we can say, okay, is they don't used to sweat. So that is why whatever the amount of water they used to drink, that water they can, okay, retain in their body, okay, for long duration of time, and that is why they can stay without drinking water for so many days. Let us see. The smaller desert animals do not drink water, okay. Small, that means the smaller desert animals, they do not drink water. They burrow underground during the hot day and come out at night to eat. What happened? Actually, they used to stay what? Inside the, okay, underground, okay. By making the burrow, they used to stay underground, and when it's too hot and when the temperature gets down, they used to come down, okay. So such animals, they used to remain underground throughout the entire day when the temperature is too high, okay. And at the night time, they used to come out from their burrow, okay, just to eat. So you see, some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat, okay. And sometimes what as some of the smallest animal, they used to eat the other animals, and when they used to eat the other animals, they used to get a kind of some moisture from their meat. So that also what we can say allow them to survive without drinking water. Others eat plants and seeds and get the water they need from the plant juices, okay. Again, they also used to eat some plants, okay, and from the plants and seeds also they used to get some moisture, okay, water. Desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they had. You see, desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they lead. Cactus plants store water in their thick stems. Similarly, just like the animals, plants also, they used to adapt themselves, okay, by getting very what we can say less amount of water, okay. You see here, mainly the cactus plant, how they used to survive. They used to store water in their thick stems. Their stems, okay, you might have seen their stems are so thick. Why do you know? Because inside the stems, okay, they also used to store water, okay, and their roots lie close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb the moisture from the light, okay, rains. If there is a light rains also, very less rain falls, so from that also they used to capture a sort of moisture, okay, that occasionally falls. The major feature of all desert is, of course, dryness and variations of temperatures, okay. In humid climates, the moisture in the air acts like a blanket, okay, and protect the earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. It happens, isn't it? You might have seen that in humid climates mainly the moistures in the air, they act just like a blanket and protect the earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. The absence of this blanket in desert land causes the desert to heat up rapidly, okay, during the day and to cool off rapidly at the night. But this sort of what we can say blanket, okay, that means the humid climate, okay, the moistures which act just like a blanket in the normal regions, okay. So this sort of climate, humid climate, is not present in the desert areas, okay. So really there is absence of this blanket. So that is why, you know, in the daytime it used to receive a very high intensity of heat, and therefore what we can say, the environment becomes too hot. And again similarly at night also, as there is no blanket, okay, of what we can say, humid, okay, climate. So that is why at night what happened, the whole surrounding becomes too cold, okay. Deserts are an important part of nature's great plan, okay. They are like the dense forest. Now see, now it is given here about the importance of the deserts. You know, deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. It is not useless. What actually people used to think, some people used to think, isn't it? But you see, deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. They are like the dense forest and the deep oceans, just because they are hot and dry, isn't it? So one should not look upon them as useless part of the earth, and that is why it has been said, okay, that therefore one should not look upon them, that means the desert, that is they are the useless. No, they are not useless. So from this, what we can say, this story, actually there is a moral which we get. What is the moral? You know, that desert plays an important part, isn't it? Desert plays an important part in nature's cycle of life, okay, just because they are hot and dry, and we should not ignore them, okay, as useless part of the earth, because they are not useless, okay. They plays an important what part in nature's cycle of life, okay students. So I hope you have understood the chapter, okay. So if you have any doubts or problem, okay, you can give your comments in the comment section, okay. So if you like my videos, please do subscribe to my channel, okay. Thank you.